This week in Marvel Strike Force, the unlock for Apocalypse was revealed. We also have the new Bionic Avengers team coming. They look super overpowered, but should you only invest in Scourge teams right now? We're talking about these things and more in this edition of your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. This week, I'm joined by my brother Boilon, and if you're ready for it, brother Boilon, tell him what to do.
Let's go smash it.
Valleyflyin.
Hello, Valley Maniacs. We are back in studio for this edition of your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. We do this every week, and if this is your first time joining us on the Valleyflyin channel, welcome, and hit that subscribe button if you want more great Marvel Strike Force content. If you're listening to this on a podcast, give it a 5-star review on whatever platform you're listening to, and there are timestamps down below because these are longer videos. This week for the news update, I am joined by my brother Boilon, discussing everything that has happened in Marvel Strike Force, and it seems like we've had like a month worth of content over the past week. So much things happening. The Apocalypse revealed his unlock method. We got the Bionic Avengers next team coming. We have some rumors of another team after that. Some more silhouettes. How are you liking Marvel Strike Force, brother Boilon? I know there's a lot of positives and negatives going on right now. Overall, how are you enjoying this game, though?
If you ask me out of 10 now versus a month ago, it's a bit better now. And I have to say that since the Mighty Thor comp, that a lot of us pushed for, I'm really happy for that solution, and actually went above and beyond what I even expected. That 50K. I know that you probably talked about this in the previous weeks, but yeah, that really improved my overall feeling of the game, but we're not done yet, right? There's still work to do. There's still stuff to push for, and so we don't want to get complacent.
So we're going to be pushing for some of that stuff.
There's more stuff to push for.
And I'm going to be complaining about things that need complaining, but overall, I'm pretty happy with the game as well. That did change a lot for me, that compensation for the Jane Foster Thor event. Yes, so good stuff that we're talking about, some bad stuff that we're talking about, but I do first want to discuss with you our silhouettes. Now, we used to get this almost every update. I think they've missed a few recently, but these silhouettes, very, very cool. As we see Dealthlok here, it looks like he's going to be the first character of the new patch, so whenever the update drops, expect your offer for Dealthlok coming in. We also have Vision, who's going to be super strong. Hulkbuster, another strong character for these new teams. And then we have rumors of a Gamma team coming with Abomination, Amadeus Cho as the popular rumors now. Is your head leading towards any other characters right now based on the rumors that we got and the silhouettes that we now see in game?
I mean, their borders are green, so it seems pretty it seems pretty obvious.
And
actually
different
know what
shades of
Amadeus Cho
green too,
looks
right?
like.
Different shades.
Yeah, I know what Amadeus Cho looks like, and so I think that that's very likely at the end there. And I don't know what kind of version of Abomination they're going to use, but I don't know. Is that what it looks like? Ears? They look like pointed ears. Is that what he has?
Yeah,
I don't know.
In some of them it looks like ears, but I think that one is Abomination. Some people have said it looks like Nightcrawler, but that doesn't fit the rumors. That doesn't fit the team right now, even though he is supposed to come out sometime for this Scourge. Remedex has a different take though on that last character. He sent me this infographic, said that that's not Amadeus Cho. What do you think of this rumor here?
Well, they'll finally get you on that Gamma team, won't they?
Yeah, so if those of you listen to the podcast version, he sent a picture with me as the final character, not Amadeus Cho. It would be cool. I still have them leaning towards Amadeus Cho, but this would be really, really cool if they brought Valleyflyin in the game with all his smashing and Amazon coins offers and everything. So I like it. All right. So that is the rumors right now, or that is the silhouettes right now. The rumors are whatever they want, or whatever you want them to be, but we have confirmation that the update is coming very soon. We got this in-game message yesterday, and it is pretty much matching what the data mine says. A new Pestilence chapter of the Apocalypse Saga. And we're gonna talk about that a little more. 5 playable characters. I think we know who the 5 are. The new Doom Raids, I do wanna discuss that with you in just a little bit, but this MILF event coming back. Now, in the blog post revealing the Apocalypse unlock, it says that these Saga events are gonna come after the second iteration of each of these Scourge events. So this must mean if that blog post was correct, and all of them are subject to change, this must mean that we're getting the Morgan Le Fay's second run of the event coming back. If that's true, how do you expect this to run now that we're not getting the first time rewards? Is it gonna be just as difficult? Is it gonna be less grindy? What are you expecting for this Morgan Le Fay event when it comes back?
I mean, I guess it depends on how you performed on the first run, or for those new players who haven't yet, I think you have to temper your expectations. So to start for new players and maybe people who are just starting on it, I think that your goal should be like, get the milestone points, get the unlock, because there's no star requirement. We know that now that Apocalypse doesn't have a star requirement. So as long as you get that unlock, I think that's what matters, and you can get that through 500k on the milestone. So that should be the goal for other players. For players like us, who have done it before, for me, I think I only need like top 20% because I got 6-star Morgan. So to get that 7-star, I only need, I can kind of like sit back a bit. Like I don't need to go, I'm not going to grind as much. Like I'm probably going to do it like one time, and then that's probably all I need to do. Because it's less time, right? We have, I don't know, 5 days, whatever that is. The second time?
I think it was supposed to be 7 the first time. It ended up being like 10 or 11 or 12 or something like that. So it should be shorter time. Now, I think the big question everyone is asking when we first saw how the rewards were structured on this second iteration, there's going to be some players that have 7 stars. What happens to these players? Are they still going to be able to compete? They don't need the shards for Morgan Le Fay, but there's some other rewards in there. Are they still even going to be able to do this? And if so, are they taking shards away from some players that don't have that 7-star?
Yeah, they absolutely will be. I think that this is going to be available for them, and for those who want to compete, they will. And because you keep in mind, this is a player. To some degree, it's a PvP game, and so there are people out there. You can call them. You can call them a dick if you want, but there's people out there who will try to take rewards from other players, and therefore by placing, or they care about the leaderboard, right? There's those people that always want to rank on the leaderboard because they just want their name on there, so they'll do it anyways.
Yeah, that's
unfortunately.
Now I was hoping that there'd be some new structure coming to this, eliminating that, but judging by this announcement, no word on any changes to the new Pestilence Scourge or anything like that. I don't think we're getting any changes. So yeah, I think those people that want to be mean and take rewards away from their players are going to be able to do that, because there's nothing to prevent that. Did
they fix the broken Scourges, or are they just leaving those out? Or
that's another good question. Now, I didn't notice many broken Scourges after the second day of the Famine Scourge event, so maybe they fixed this one, but we will have to see. That is an excellent question. Maybe the Scourge efficiency will be actually fixed this time, but we'll talk a little bit more about the Saga. The 5 new playable characters, I think we know who those are coming, and if we want to take a look at that infographic again that we saw, that was posted up by Miniball at the beginning of July. I just want to show it here one more time. The reworked, rumored characters. We know Vision and Iron Man are getting reworks. We know that Vision, Dealthlok, and Hulkbuster are coming to the game. We've seen silhouettes of probably Amadeus Cho and maybe either Valleyflyin or Amadeus Cho or Valleyflyin and Abomination. That's who I was pointing at there. But let me ask you this. Do you think, now a lot of these rumors look like they are going to be coming true. Do you think Power Armor is actually getting a rework? And if so, what is this team going to be used for?
I mean, if they're, I mean, maybe we'll be talking about this later. If they are a secondary Scourge team, they might get, I wouldn't say a rework, but maybe they might get a base stat bump slightly. I mean, you might remember that the Inhumans got that very slightly in the last patch. I don't know if it,
ever so slightly.
They got like hit points spot, like Yo-Yo got like 50% hit points and stuff like that. It wasn't a rework, but it was a base stat bump. They might get that. I don't see them getting a actual rework unless they're trying to convert them into a Cosmic Crucible offense team or something. Like, I don't know what their plans would be for that.
It's a pretty hefty rework if they are updated. They got all these reworks, all these new characters, Scourge preparation. We're getting a new Doom Raid that we're going to talk about in just a little bit, but this is going to be a pretty big update if we get this Power Armor rework too. Now, let's say that they are getting a rework. What do you think they would be reworked for? You think it is Crucible, or are they going to stick with War Offense, or are they going to be kind of totally shifted to a totally different game mode, like Iron Man and Vision are on the new Bionic Avenger tech team?
Maybe they could do both War Offense and Cosmic Crucible Offense. They're clearly an offensive team. They're not a defensive team. But it's a distraction, and even if they do rework them, I don't think it's something that people should really pay much attention to because we have so much other big stuff to talk about.
I agree. Let's get on to that other stuff. But before we get into that other stuff, let's talk about Doom Raid. Now, they say there's a new Doom Raid happening. We've had updates of the Doom 3 raids coming very soon. We've seen data mines and rumors of the Doom Raid 3. What are you doing right now to prep for Doom 3, if anything?
Not a lot, but I mean, I guess first thing would be that when it does go live is knowing for our strike teams and our alliances, like what our plans are. I guess it's probably going to be a bit of a free-for-all just so people can just explore and, experience the nodes themselves before we decide on, lanes and things like that. Because, I at least for my alliance, I don't have a clear, I don't know where everyone's roster is at for each type of lane, right? So I don't know where they might struggle at in the new raids compared to, so we're just going to probably just launch it, do some nodes and see how it goes, I guess, first of all.
Are you guys doing Doom 2.3 right now?
No, we're doing 2.2.
2.2, and you guys are just gonna try the. Hopefully, this will be playable for even if you can't finish Doom 2.3, because I know that's the new challenging raid. How difficult do you think this is gonna be, though? Because when Doom 2 was first launched, it was very difficult, and then as time went on, people were to more and more alliances were to pass it. How difficult do you think Doom 3 is gonna be on launch?
Well, 1.1 was harder than 2.0, so if that's any indication, I would think that 2.3 will probably be harder than 3.0, and there's 8 difficulties in 3, so it's probably going to scale slower. So I would imagine that if you're doing 2.3, you could probably be safe at 3.0, 3.1 at least, I would think. That's probably what you could expect, and then after that you might need to invest more into the relevant teams like Bionic Avengers and level 90 and that kind of stuff.
Now, I've seen some reports that say the tags are changing. I've seen some data mines that say they aren't. Do you think that anything for Doom 3 is going to kill any of our current raid teams that we're using in Doom 2. Whatever?
I think Mutant's going to struggle even more. I mean, than they kind of already did, unless there's enemies that can clearly be taken advantage of by that team, which would be minions and stuff, or Gregs and and things like that. But otherwise,
wait a minute, you're expecting to struggle more? You did say that Doom 2 was easier than Doom 1, so shouldn't Doom 3 be easier than Doom 2?
Well, for me, the mutant lane is one of the most annoying sections, so I assume that that's going to get harder. But because they're eventually, I think that they're going to sell us a mutant raid team in the near future. They're pretty old, so I think they're probably next on the block after Tech.
Yeah. Well, the rumor is that they're the final Scourge, the death Scourge. So it's probably a little ways off. So if we're doing the next update is no Scourge, the next update has a Scourge. The next update doesn't, so we're probably 4 updates away from a mutant raid team if the predictions and everything are true.
I'm more interested in actually what the map might look like for Doom Raid 3. Is it going to look similar to 2, or the lanes going to be different, the number of lanes, how they cross over, and things like that. I guess that's what would be interesting to know.
So do you think we're going to get that map this Friday, or we're going to have to wait till the update goes live before we even see any data mines or maps or anything of new Doom Raid?
I don't remember what they did for Doom Raid 2, but it seems like they've been trying to be a bit more, try to give us information a little bit more earlier, but I don't know if they will for Doom Raid. Otherwise, we'll have to wait for the update on msf.gg, probably whenever that map shows up.
Well, I hope that shows up sooner than when the day the update drops. Hopefully, we get some advanced prep notice for that. All right. So yeah, I'm curious to see what that's gonna do to everybody in their raid teams. Now we do have some Alliance War updates coming. It looks like one minor update. This was described in the blog post. That we update to War Boost and the room that provide deflect instead of granting a new positive effect is gonna be called minor deflect. If it's from the room, you're still gonna get deflect if that's coming from the character. It's not gonna have it's still gonna have that block chance, but it's not gonna have that negating of applying debuffs. So how big of a change do you think this is gonna be in War? I know for some teams this was big. I can't remember which teams off the top of my head, but this deflect was not letting those debuffs stick. Now it looks like these minor deflects, you're still going to be able to do that, reduce some of the damage, but you're still going to be able to take those debuffs. How much of a change do you think that this is going to bring to war?
I mean, I think it's a nerf. Well, it is a nerf to boosting.
Defensive team is a nerf to defensive teams.
I don't, in my alliance and in the kind of matches we play, I don't know if boosts ever really make a big difference. Like I don't know, maybe in the top alliances there's like boosts everywhere in every single room, but like I think some people just forget to boost in the where I'm at.
Is it from the boost or is it only the rooms that provide the deflect? Because it looks like they're providing. To rooms that provide deflect. Well, maybe or maybe not with the boost, right? Maybe not from the characters. I'm not sure.
Well, Hanger provides deflect on offense, right? So I don't unless that also is adjusting that.
I haven't bought a boost or boosted a room in war for months. So
I just noticed that part that says the rooms that provide deflect. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's only like Hanger on the offense because that's what the buff that they give.
So it's affecting one room.
Or maybe the cargo bay. Like, is that the random buffs? Do they get deflect?
I don't remember
I'm not
what
sure
all
what
the rooms do off the top of my head since they made those changes like a few months ago.
I didn't notice that wording there with the rooms.
All right, well, we'll see what happens. And they're monitoring it. The dev team, as they usually do, are closely monitoring these changes to ensure that they have the intended results. What do you expect the intended results are? Faster wars, more full clears, or is this something to limit our war credits even more?
I think for a long time that people have kind of been meh about war, even more so now with Cosmic Crucible, and so maybe it's an attempt to make things easier for everyone, for attacking. So it is a nerf to the defense, but people don't want to spend an excruciating amount of time on war now with other game modes, I guess. I don't know.
I like nerfs to the defense, especially anything that nerfs Heroes Fire.
Except for those people who built those teams, right? So
yeah, they didn't build them, so I'm fine. All right, let's talk about the new team. We've teased them already enough. The new game mode coming, Sagas. And all of this is something to change right now, guys. But it looks like there's something after we've unlocked these characters called Sagas, giving more skills, more bonuses, more abilities. And you're gonna need the team that goes along with that associated Scourge character. So for instance, Morgan Le Fay, you're gonna need the other 4 Darkhold characters. Rogue's gonna need the other 4 Unlimited X-Men, and so on and so on. Apocalypse, we'll get to that in a little bit, but what do you think of this adding more skills to these Scourge characters? I thought the way they would do this is just make them empowered like Thanos. What do you think of this kind of release method for more skills for these Horsemen, giving them their synergy that they need? What are some of the positives that you notice from this, and some of the negatives as well?
I mean, I guess it makes it sound like it's not going to be difficult. Like if you have the hard requirements which they're asking for and the difficulties, it makes it sound like you should be able to clear the levels, right? And then just scoop up your rewards. So
it's this, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to go through a level, I guess. You're gonna have to clear a level of some degree with some enemies on it and stuff. But like, it seems like it shouldn't be hard to do. So it's kind of more that it's the gear tier requirements to get you there. But the abilities, all it really does is just allow it to be used across the Horsemen and Apocalypse. I thought maybe it might have just added more stuff to the team itself, but I don't think it did for Pestilence.
Not what we saw in the example, no. Because in the Morgan Le Fay, all it did was make this go to all Horsemen. This goes to all Horsemen. So I mean, maybe some of the future abilities will extend to other things. But yeah, so far it's just extended. I
think it was a little bit of a disappointment because I would have liked to see maybe it just be a little bit stronger, maybe, and that's kind of like not just the synergy part, but like in general the skill, maybe not that she needs it necessarily, but I don't know, maybe with Apocalypse it gets stronger, and so nothing really changed other than it's just being shared across the team now.
All right, well, hopefully the last 2 ones that we see are make them a little stronger, not just adding the synergy to that stuff. What is there anything that you liked that stood out? Like, oh, this is pretty cool with this release method, or this stuff. Is it just maybe more content, or is there anything that stood out that you really enjoyed about this? This is something different, a new type of release method, or what?
I think it's a lot of. Well, I think we'll talk about it more in a little bit, but I mean, I just think that they're now telling you what to build. You know, they're telling you that you need specific characters, and while we kind of knew that already with the Horsemen, I just think that as seems to be like the de facto Dark Dimension 6, that there's that sort of there's that lack of choice now as to what you're building in your roster, and your goals for the next 6 to 9 months, you know, are gonna just be this. So less flexibility. That's all.
Yeah, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. I like working on some of these teams that I know aren't meta, that I just kind of enjoy. It looks like that is stopped right now, unless you're going to spend a lot of money on those extra teams. Now, we also got the information that unlock for Apocalypse. You're going to need to do all of these difficulty or all of these sagas here. And to unlock Apocalypse, you're going to need at the minimum to complete difficulty 2 on each of those sagas. So this is something they added after that first day. To first unlock Apocalypse, you must complete difficulty 2, and that's of all of these other sagas here. And unlock the rest of his yellow, to unlock the rest of his yellow stars and red stars, you must complete difficulty 3. So further requirements for that are a little different than the rest of these Scourges. But for unlocking Apocalypse, gear tier 16 for those characters, ISO 8 blue level 4, which is super rare. How many characters do you have ISO 8 level 4? ISO 8 blue level 4. Such a long name. I always forget that whole thing. Yeah.
Maybe
4 characters? I think I have 4 as well.
I think I have 4.
I think I have 4 as well. Squirrel Girl. I both are for Scourge. Agatha, Morgan, and then Dormammu.
Hey, you got Agatha. That's one more character that you need towards Apocalypse.
Oh, yes. I don't have to worry about her at 4.
I did Squirrel Girl too, but now I'm like, well, okay, that's one less I have towards my Horseman team, but it's whatever.
Yeah, but you needed that for that big road, for that big score in road.
I have a set of Red Squirrel Girl, so you know that was a pretty big stat bump for me. But
nice. Congratulations on that. All right, and difficulty 3. This is to get the full stars for Apocalypse, the full red stars. You need gear tier 17, which is not even in a game yet. ISO 8 blue level 5, which is not in a game yet. And that'll allow you to promote Apocalypse to 7 yellow stars. Obviously, this is not good, but now we're gonna have to gear up some trash teams. What was your reaction when you first saw that? Oh, now I gotta gear up Phantom X and Dazzler and Scarlet Witch just to unlock Apocalypse. How did that make you feel when you first saw this?
Well, for gear tier 15 doesn't feel that bad, but knowing that I will have to gear tier 17 Scarlet Witch makes me want to throw up in my mouth. And Phantom X as well is not very good either. Not
as bad as Phantom X and Dazzler, in my opinion, but
I think Dazzler is actually the best of all of those. I think Scarlet Witch and Phantom X are on the bottom. Dazzler's not that bad. I mean, she's got more use. She's got support.
It's her team, not her.
But yeah, I mean, like it's going to be my last character. It's obviously to do, but it's not going to feel good. Even when I do it, I don't think it's going to feel good that I have to G17 Scarlet Witch. I'm gonna be like, oh god, I'm going to feel terrible clicking that button.
Yeah, it's not going to be fun. The rest of the characters not that bad, but Scarlet Witch, Phantom X, not so good. All right, but are you only going to invest in your Scourge teams now? That's what some of the community is saying. You said it yourself. It's kind of telling you what to build. Are you gonna go outside of the box, and thinking, oh, this is so far down the road, I have time to build the teams that I want, or are you limiting your resources and only building Scourge teams at this point, and teams to unlock the next Scourge character?
I think I'll be investing less in the Scourge teams. I think that now that we know that we're gonna have 2 passes of each event before the saga goes live, I think that means that, and there's no star rank associated with Apocalypse.
Did that say that though? Oh,
yeah,
actually, yeah, because this will be on the second run, and then after. Okay, so yeah.
So the for me, I was like pushing to get 6-star on Morgan and on Rogue, but now I feel like I don't really need to. Like I would be completely fine with a 5-star. For example, on the first pass, because I know that the star levels don't matter, and B, that I have to wait till the second pass anyways before the saga unlocks, which will probably get me a 6-star on the second pass. So I don't think I want to build the Scourge characters as high as I did recently. I did like gear tier 15, level 87 for all of my young Avengers. That's what I'm at right now. And I don't think that for Heroes Guardians, if they're the main team for the third one, I'm not going to take them up as high as I did my Young Avengers. I'll probably do like gear 14, level 80-ish maybe, but I'm not going to put that gear in because I need to save those resources for my Horsemen teams, that are mandatory now.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
I'm okay with scoring less in the event, in the Scourge event, because the star ranks aren't as imperative now as I thought they might have been, because a lot of us thought maybe we needed a 6-star in order to unlock Apocalypse, but now that that's out the window, I don't think you need to push. Unless you're a huge spender, I don't think you need to push your rank as much anymore. There's not much of a...
I guess that's one of the good things with this, right? We're trying to find some good things. Letting us know all this information this far in advance, so you can kind of plan your next few Scourge runs. You know that it's gonna be a choice. You only have so much gear, so it's, do you do this team for right now, or do you save it for the future? So I guess that's a positive thing. One thing I do want to discuss, and we started discussing this a little bit before we started recording, was Dark Dimension. Now that we're kind of limited on our teams, limited on our gear, and limited on the ISO 8 that we could equip on these characters, does this change anything for newer players that still have not completed whatever Dark Dimension that they're still are trying to get past? Does this change what teams they build up, and should they only be focused on Scourge teams for Dark Dimension at this point?
I think where possible, if you're considering gear tier 16, you should either use Horseman team characters. So right now that would be Darkhold and Unlimited X-Men, which unfortunately a lot of them are global. But other than that, you could then, do Scourge, Node 5 and 10 type characters. So Young Avengers, Web Warriors, maybe even Hero Asgardians, I don't know. But you would want to cross build as much as possible so it's not wasted. Hopefully, maybe we'll get some City and Cosmic characters in the next 2 Scourges from the Horseman teams. And so maybe there's more cross building in that way. She-Hulk might be getting the rework. So she's City. So that might be an option maybe if her rework is decent.
That'll be good.
To take her, so that you're building, you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone here by building for both. So
maybe that's
even
what
if it's
power
slower,
armor's for.
Yeah, well,
maybe that's what power armor's for.
Even if it's slower, because they might not be the most ideal choices in Dark Dimension 5, but as long as you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone, I think at the end of the day you're gonna fare better, I think, personally.
Now, are you only recommending that for the teal gear and upping to gear tier 16, or some of the previous Dark Dimensions that require orange gear, Dark Dimension 4, 3, and so on?
I mean that's tough. I mean, for 3, I feel like gear tier 14 is fairly accessible, so you can be more flexible if you want to. If you really want to, maximize your crossover, that you could go 4, 5, or 3, 4, and 5 with the Horseman characters if you have them available to you, I guess.
That'll be a walkthrough if you could get those characters.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think that you still want to focus on your Nodes 5 and 10 Scourge team characters, which are, a lot of them are actually, Young Avengers is a good team. So I think 3 of them are City, so that's, viable in the City lanes, and there's some global characters. I don't know if Echo's very good, but you should try to maximize your cross building, I think, is the point here.
Only Web Warriors, because they're a Morgan Le Fay Scourge team for City. And then I can't think of any good cosplay. It looks, if the rumors are true, maybe not the Scourge unlock teams, but at least the Horseman teams themselves. It looks like it's gonna be global for if War is coming, the Red Hulk is coming, and the Gamma team, they're probably all global. And if the other rumor is true about Archangel and Excalibur coming, they're probably all global too. So a lot of global teams for the Horseman teams themselves. So hopefully some of these Scourge teams get some variety.
So global and legendary is fine there, but City and Cosmic, there might be some. Otherwise, like Evil Strange, I call them Evil Strange. She-Hulk is City maybe, and then otherwise just try to take options that are Node 5-10 characters. So Web Warriors, Young Avengers, Hero Asgardians, even like Thor and Mighty Thor. A combo there.
Or even the Eternals, because they've come into play in all of the Scourges. Maybe not Node 5 and 10, but they've been very valuable for me in all of the Scourges.
Once they're made farmable.
Both Scourges that I've done.
Once you can farm them.
Yeah. And if the rumors are true, I guess they're not rumors. If the blog post from early March was true, that they should be farmable very soon. All right.
I hope so.
I hope so as well. All right, so not only are we getting all this difficulty unlock and the plans that we have to do right now, but we're also getting awakened abilities, and we started touching on these already. At least for the ones that described, it looks like it extends whatever the ability is doing to the Horsemen as well. How excited for these costumes and new abilities are you, and how grindy is it going to be to get to ISO 8 level 5 blue? Because we're needing a lot of characters that need that, and it's really hard to get characters up to level 4 right now. So how grindy is this going to be? How excited for costumes are you? And will these abilities go to other characters, make these things stronger?
I mean, for me, it seemed like it's not 100% clear about the blue ISO 5. Like, other than the Horseman Saga, where else it might come from? So I believe in the blog, I thought that it said that there was enough for the Horsemen themselves. So like for Morgan, for Rogue, etc.
Yes.
But then you also need blue level 5 for the team for Apocalypse difficulty 3, or just the Horsemen.
That's why, I mean, maybe gearing would be fine, but you gotta be really selective on this ISO 8 blue level 4 and 5 characters, because this is what you're gonna need for these unlocks.
I think we're gonna get blue 4 in Doom Raid 3. I think that's probably where it's gonna come from. They're gonna open up more there, I think.
Wait, is it gonna be level 4 ISO 8 blue as a reward and the requirement for Doom 3 like it was for Doom 2?
No, it'll be probably like blue 3 to enter, and then maybe at the higher difficulties it might be blue 4, but I think it'll start at blue 3 and reward blue 4 hopefully.
Right. I can see them having that as a reward and the unlock. That's
we'll be able to do it then. Like we have like 4 characters.
Well, that's where the credit card code comes from.
Yeah, well, you know. Yeah,
what about this character? What about this costume? I know this is just the first of 4. Does this excite you for what's coming for Rogue or the other 2 Horsemen?
I mean, they're neat. You know, I don't think costumes are a high priority for the players. I don't think it's nice. You know, like I'm glad that they did a nod to change how they looked for Apocalypse.
Yeah.
So I expected that, I think. So that's fine. And
I like it.
It's weird that I guess the costume itself is locked behind that difficulty 3. Like I feel like that, I don't know.
Well, I guess it's to know that you're dealing with a Horseman of Apocalypse and not just normal Morgan Le Fay.
You can get Baby Apocalypse and still not have the skin, because Apocalypse difficulty 2, which you get the unlock, is gear tier 16 before the costume's unlocked. So you'll still have the Horseman team just without the costume, so it'll still look weird then.
Maybe you have the unlock, but you don't have any characters with all the right stuff in there. Is that possible? I don't know if that's possible. Now I'm saying that out loud, but anyway.
You might still be able to get the costume even before Apocalypse is unlocked, so gear tier 17 for Darkhold before Apocalypse releases.
We might be able to get the costume for her. Actually, no, we don't have gear tier 17. I was gonna say next
soon,
but no, we don't have gear tier 17 yet.
People with credit cards, you know, they'll just swipe away for gear tier 17 minis, right? And so they might get it sooner.
Yes.
But we'll find out.
All right, so that is what's coming up. We'll see how grindy it is. We'll see if any of these new abilities do anything more than just synergize with the rest of the Horsemen of Apocalypse. And I don't know. I kind of like these costumes. But let's move on to this event that just ended, this Famine Scourge event for Rogue. They fixed the leaderboard, at least they say they did. I didn't notice any problems other than a visual bug when claiming the thing. You know, the rewards were supposed to be like 15 times 9 shards, but it just said 15. But when you actually claimed it, it was correct. Did you notice any other issues with the leaderboards and the rankings and all the rewards that we got?
I know there was like one person that had their own rank. I don't know if you ever noticed that, if you were looking at the rank. I don't know if it's still up in the game or not, but like there was one person with their own ranking. Just one person.
Anymore. It's not in a game anymore.
Okay, because it's funny. It was like, I don't remember what, it was something under 2,000, and it was like just one person standalone who I guess had his own special score because, you know, they talked about
tiebreakers actually work.
Yeah,
he had his efficiency bonus actually work. Everybody else no efficiency bonus.
So I think it's funny that he had his own unique reward basically for this event, and so I guess this was like for all the people who did D9 and D10 and, you know, had no efficiency score and stacked up, you know, the same points, right? And that wasn't me. I didn't do D9, so I was in like the, I don't know, 2200 or something, because I did like D8 maximum scourges.
Okay. Jeez, that sounds harder to me than difficulty 9, dude.
Well, I only did 3 runs of it, but you know, it's something that they're going to have to think about for not only the third Scourge, but also the rerun of Morgan. Because if D9 and 10 is going to be more, I don't want to say normal, but if more people are doing it, then they're going to need to start thinking about people stacking up with the same points.
I mean, I think that was their intention, right? That's why they invented those tiebreakers and all that efficiency bonus in the first place. Testing is important, though, to make sure it's actually working when it goes live in the game, because I don't think it was supposed to be like that.
Isn't that your guys' job? That's your guys' job to test that, isn't it?
That is our job. Yeah, we're the envoys. We're supposed to test that. It's our fault, guys. We're sorry it didn't work. We did let them know it. So anyway, we gotta know.
The battles take too long. I think that's the problem, though, right? Is because there is no efficiency score once you finish it, because D9 and 10 is taking so long to clear that nobody's getting extra points.
So how much time did you spend on this Scourge run? I know you said you did 3 runs. How many runs is that compared to what you did for Morgan Le Fay?
Way less. I think for Morgan, I just did a lot of incremental changes to my Scourges. This time I just did a clean run to get her unlocked. I did 1 run, which was like maybe 100, half the Scourges. And then I did a 3rd run, which was like almost everything.
Oh, 3 total runs.
Yeah, but for Morgan, I did a lot. No, I did like 10 for Morgan, probably.
I was doing like a run every day for Morgan.
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta get a little higher score. I'm dropping the rankings. Let me put on extra Scourge. This time I was like, you know what? Screw it. If I get the 6-star, I'm happy. I did 2 clean runs. I did a 6, I did a 7, then I did an 8, and then I finally did a 9, and that was it. That was all I did.
I think it was the character, because Morgan was an arena team, right, with Darkhold, whereas, I think maybe people cared a little bit less about Rogue because she wasn't an arena team meta, and I don't know, maybe people just felt differently about Rogue than they did about Morgan as far as the wider game, the team, the impact of the team. So
I was thinking people were doing what I was doing. Like, you know what? That took way too long last time. I'm just gonna do 1 good run and screw everything else. And that's kind of what I did. And I enjoyed it a lot more. It was fun for me. Did you enjoy this past Scourge event?
I like the uniqueness of the different Scourges. I don't remember, I did do most of the new ones because they are making unique ones for each Scourge. Like there was some with name references to Rogue, like gloves off and things like that. So they are adding a few extras. It wasn't broken as far as I'm aware. It was a fairly
on the first day there were some, but I think they fixed them pretty quickly.
It wasn't because they didn't release the event on a Friday like they did for Morgan and then went home and then let it fester for 4 days. But
They're learning. We got to be happy with that. They're not.
We're
not doing that on Fridays.
I mean, the next problem is that we have the event starting on Saturday for Valkyrie. I know we're not talking about that probably, but hey, hopefully there's nothing.
We kind of are.
Don't release events on a weekend when they go home. But I think that's why Rogue was a little bit better because they had time.
Tested it this time though.
They were able to fix things in a timely manner. I guess let's say that.
So I found this event very good. Now, as far as Rogue, she was not expected to be meta everywhere, but I think she is. After everybody got their normal stars on her, put her around, and even at just 3 gold stars, people were reporting, man, she is strong everywhere. How strong is she? Is she better than you expected, or just looking at her kit, you knew how strong she was going to be?
I think she's definitely a really good character. One thing that I'm hoping, you remember when there was that bug? Well, the special said it was 2 energy costs. Part of me was like, when Apocalypse comes out, are they gonna adjust? I don't know, things like that. Maybe give her back the 2. That would be bonkers. But if they gave her back the 2,
ability energy. He's like his natural.
Yeah, who knows, right? Because it made me wonder, why was that even in the kit to begin with? If maybe it will be 2 energy with Apocalypse.
It might have just been a typo. It might have just been a simple typo, bro.
The other interesting thing is that since we're getting the second run of Pestilence and then the Saga, so when we get those ability upgrades, which are at gear tier 15, that's going to cross over with Rogue. So if you're using Rogue in place of Scarlet Witch, now all of the buffs that Morgan has is now going to be given to Rogue.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, so you won't need
50% hit points and things like that.
You won't need Scarlet Witch anymore once you get Morgan left
up to. So that sounds like, I don't know if this is going to happen, but it sounds like maybe that the Horsemen are going to be so good that you're slowly going to add each one into the team in the arena. Even just picking other people out. They're going to have a kit so strong that maybe the next person to be dumped will be Doctor Strange. Who knows?
Yeah,
for War.
That's the next weakest on the team. Yeah.
Because now that you're getting the buffs, the synergy buffs, they're now being, and by the time, I don't know, maybe towards after War sometime, we're going to get the second run of Famine, right? And so Rogue's buffs are now going to get transferred to not only Morgan, but everyone else as well.
This apocalypse is going to be good everywhere.
It snowballs. And I didn't think about that until actually in this video, when we're doing this, is that, those upgrades are also going to affect Rogue.
Everywhere. If you think about it, Morgan Le Fay is dominating Arena, Rogue's dominating Crucible. The rumors for Red Hulk's supposed to dominate War, and the rumors for Arcane was supposed to dominate Raids, and that's all 4 game modes. If they extend all that synergy to each one of them, and Apocalypse has a strong kit overall.
Right.
What is going to beat this team?
I was looking at Morgan's passive, so what does she give to the other Horsemen? She gives 50% health and 100% resistance. So Rogue's going to get 50% more hit points with Morgan, and then 100% resistance. What is Rogue going to give? What's Rogue going to give Morgan? I mean, I don't know. Are you in the game? Can you click on the passive? What's likely to transfer to the Horsemen? Could be the spawn.
2 turns.
Yeah,
Safeguard on spawn.
Maybe the taunt portion. Maybe they'll taunt she'll taunt off of Horseman allies.
Oh my goodness.
So who knows, right? With the upgrade.
Crazy. They're gonna get crazy. More max health, more damage. Oh my goodness. That's so crazy.
When they get those upgrades to the abilities, all of this is now going to go over to the other Horsemen too. And so as we move through the game, it's really just going to upgrade the arena. So that's kind of interesting.
How crazy would it have been if that wasn't a misprint for her cooldown on the special? If it actually was 2 turns?
She taunts for 2 turns.
As good as she is right now, how crazy would it have been with that?
It would have been too broken, I think, because her taunt lasts for 2 turns. All the buffs last for 2 turns. She'd permanently have all of those buffs.
Yeah.
It'd be so broken.
All right. So yeah, Rogue is good and gonna get even better and better. Let's talk about this upcoming, or the event going on right now, this Space Viking Milestone, which looks like it's not completable. We have a few more days of this. 7,000 points from the web each day. That's 14,000 points. That brings us to 134,000 points, which means we're just going to be short of this. Do you think that was intentional with them giving out all these Summer of Thunder milestones? Do you think that was a error when they tried to make this a little friendlier and gave us less points for all this? Or I guess that's either two. Was that intentional or done on purpose?
Part of me doesn't feel that their math department is always knowing, what their numbers add up to. However, I think they want us to spend. I think they want us to spend to get those 2 orbs. I don't know how much that is, $5 US maybe to make the difference.
It's like $5, or $10. It's not very expensive
for the 2 orbs that you need. But I guess what's disappointing is that they never addressed the bugs, which is like the
6,000 points that you got up for free in the day 1 of the event. Yeah, what
or the Sunday blitz because some
people have this completed already because of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not fair, but they have a tendency of sweeping these kind of things under the rug.
Do you think that's what they're going to do with this one now?
I wouldn't, if you're someone who wants to get those 2080 and you're thinking about spending $5 to clear it, I probably wouldn't hold out on them giving compensation to do it because there's no guarantee that it's going to happen. So
yeah, do you think this was their plan all along, or this was their adjusted plan based on the Summer of Thunder, giving those out for free?
Yeah, I think it was. But to be fair, if we go back and talk to probably on a news video that I did with you, how I thought about these events being free to play completable. And honestly, back in May, I didn't think that the final milestones would be, because they looked like whale milestones, right? Fully crafted teal gear. And so I never expected those to be. And I think we're kind of moving back to where I thought originally was that it probably won't be, that final milestone won't be free to play completable anymore going forward, which sucks. But that's kind of what I thought to be, because they were 2 fully crafted pieces is a lot of money in Scopely dollars.
But it's also a lot of time spent grinding these events for an entire month. I think that is worth the trade-off from a player and from Scopely's perspective.
For those light spenders, I think, if you are up to date with all of your Mjolnir fragments, I think it's probably worth spending the $5 to get the 2080 to then eventually get those fully crafted, teal pieces. If you've done everything, that's probably worth the trade-off. But,
I think it's worth the trade-off if you know what you're getting. But you're buying those Mjolnir pieces. They may have enough one-core offers for you. They may not. they may still not be completable. That's why it's such a big question mark, right?
For 2080 is a lot. So if you're not going to get those 2080, I don't think you're going to make it up though. Like, I don't think there's enough time to make up 2080 in one core offers. It's just not going to happen. So I think you need that to clear it. That's just my opinion, though. I've been tracking the total amount of points and stuff over the month. I always do that. So we're actually, everything that's made available right now, we're short 2,400. But I think that 2,400 is going to come from the Party in Paradise event, which we're going to talk about on the weekend. That's for the weekend. And I think that's where the rest of the points are going to come out from.
Okay. Yeah, we're getting some decent rewards, and it looks kind of confusing, this party event. Let's talk about that event, because we know some of the details right now. We have data mined a bunch of the other details, and we've discussed those previously, but it looks like this is a normal character campaign event release. Here we see the Hammer of the Gods event. It looks like there are also some milestones associated with opening these party orbs. Now, just talking about this event, because that's what we know about for sure. What characters are you recommending for some of these newer players with this party animal trait for them to complete it? Because, all of these events for longer time players, full auto, just put in your 5 strongest characters. But for some mid-game players, probably have to do a little more theory crafting to complete these. What party animal characters stand out for you right now?
Absolutely, Squirrel Girl. She is available quite early on in the game. My baby account, which I have a new one, is level 52, and I'm farming Squirrel Girl, which means that she's very early accessible. She's a really great character. She's Young Avengers. We need for Scourge. If you have Gambit
for Scourge, so that's good.
Yeah. If you can double up or triple up on any upgrades, that's great. Gambit, if you got the free unlock from the login calendar, you should definitely do that.
Okay.
Mighty Thor is an option too, because everyone got 4-star for free, right? So I mean that's unlocked. And any Scarlet Spider, if you have them.
Avengers.
Kate Bishop, so there's some good choices, and I would take the ones that are going to be more used in other content.
I see A-Force character here, are they?
No, I would skip.
They're great for sacrificing no gen.
Scarlet Spider, Kate Bishop, Squirrel Girl, Bishop. Mighty Thor.
Basically any Scourge Horsemen teams or any Scourge Unlock teams. All right, those are the characters there. I agree with that. All right, now this event, we talked about it. We've seen bits and pieces of the data mine. There's orbs you have to open. What are you doing to prepare for this party animal event that's coming up?
Well, thank you for asking, because I think it's a bit of a 2-for-1, I think, right here, because we have to consider the Valkyrie campaign event at the same time, because obviously you get those party animal orbs from the Valkyrie event. So you need to understand, or you have to think, I guess, very early on, how many cores am I going to spend, I being, the player, in the event. So are you someone who does 200 cores daily, in campaign events? Do you do more? And that's going to tell you how many party animal orbs you get. And so I'm going to have a math video related to this, because I already put out my campaign event video, which kind of shows you the math on how to get to 5-star Valkyrie. But that also depends on how many party animal orbs you're going to have. And then that's going to transfer to the math numbers for the actual Party in Paradise event, right? Because that's the primary source of these orbs is going to be the campaign event. And so how many cores are you willing to put into this event is probably the biggest question. And you should have a goal in mind from the beginning, I guess.
Okay. What are you doing personally? 200 refreshes, 100 refreshes on the campaign energy. What are you planning to do personally?
I normally do 200 energy daily on the campaign events, but I think that's also going to depend on what the thresholds are for the milestone for this event, which we'll find out probably in the blog tomorrow, which is kind of late, but
very late. I thought we would find out about it last week, considering this event that's coming this week.
So, how many cores do I need to spend to get to the Mjolnir fragment goal? And I'll probably, as long as it's not too high, I'll probably, because you do get points for spending power cores as well. Okay. Just flat out power cores, which is a good 2-for-1.
All of the information we have is all data mined, right? So all that could be thrown out the window tomorrow.
Everything in this game is subject to change. But, so if you are getting points for power core spending, then by spending power cores in the campaign event, you're doubling up. And so you get more party animal orbs and you get more points. And so that's probably the best place to put your cores. You could also, core regular energy, because we need the XP for levels and things like that if you want to do that. So you could do 200 for your campaign, your regular energy, and then 200 for the the campaign. If you have enough cores to do that, like 400 daily. I probably will do 400 daily over a week or whatever the duration of the event.
400 total cores daily, or up to the 400 refreshes.
And actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, I just thought about this, but the Party in Paradise event is how many days?
It's probably 7. I don't remember off the top of my head.
The campaign event is 15 days.
Oh, it's 15 days?
Campaign events are always 15 days. And so there's a disconnect here because you're not going to get all of the party animal orbs that you would normally get out of the campaign if it cuts out, if they're not the same duration.
Okay, so, we got to recalculate all this stuff. So don't open any party animal orbs. When this event goes live, don't open any orbs until the associated orb opening is live.
Well, I mean that the full Valkyrie event will probably be longer than the Party in Paradise event, which means you'll need to kind of spend more cores up front on the Valkyrie event while this Party in Paradise event is active, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess I was kind of hoping
it's a bit confusing.
It would come in a second 7 days, but yeah, it's probably coming. It's probably coming this weekend.
It should be this week. It's a mess. It's a mess, but we'll hope for the best. There's the gauntlets in there that's worth 10,000 points in the Party in Paradise event, so that's a real, that's an important goal to get to, and hopefully we can get there free to play.
I hope so as well. I hope we don't have to just buy a few.
The Gambit one was the Gambit raid, 10,000 points. We had a huge problem with the glimmer bracelet, right?
Or maybe we could just buy a $5 offer at the end of this and get all the second rewards for that. That'll be awesome.
Oh, sorry, I did. I really hope that this doesn't happen again. That was a really terrible bug, and that
not if you got to take advantage of it.
Yeah, I mean, I already cleared the Dazzler event if we're talking about that as well,
I cleared the whole thing as well. I'm not that mad that people got that for free.
I just don't know how these things happen. It's really
they're lazy. They're lazy. Come on, we've been playing this game for a while. We should know they're lazy.
I shouldn't get surprised anymore, but sometimes, I do.
All right, let's move on, because any other week, this would have been the major topic of the week. This is like our 5th or 6th major topic that we're discussing, though. The Bionic Avengers coming to the game looks to be the solution for the tech raid. Dealthlok looks very strong. Vision looks very strong. We've seen the Hulkbuster kit just a few days before that. How excited for this team are you, considering now we know about the apocalypse and considering that we haven't had this tech raid solution for a long time? So double-edged sword, but how excited for this team are you?
I am really excited for them to be an auto raid team, because for how much energy they're chucking out, I honestly think that you can just auto raid sim. At least earlier Doom raids, like Doom Raid 1 and 2, no problem doing an auto, because there's so every attack has like ability energy chucked out. So
all the characters, right?
I think this is very friendly for raid simming, because they should internally, by the AI, hopefully, get their energy back, and therefore every node should be easier. And just like how Web Warriors, the Ghost Spider gives 2 energy to everyone on spawn. Yeah. That kind of, that makes them a bit more auto friendly or raid friendly, sim friendly. For Doom Raid 3, I mean, we'll find out. I don't even know if they'll give us a sim option for Doom Raid 3 right away. It might just be all manual. I mean,
I don't think mad if they did that. I wouldn't be.
You shouldn't sim it probably, but I mean, I don't know if they'll even give us the option. So
yeah, so this
very solid team.
Yeah, that was my question when we first saw these kits revealed. Are we even going to play with this team, or is this a team that we're going to sim and kind of like a war defense team, just have and not really use? They're very strong. I guess the other question for this team, will they still be relevant for Doom 3? Maybe not for simming, but will these guys be able to take on Doom 3, reliably beat it for you?
I think the problem will come into the, how many shards are we getting for these new characters? Because that's always a problem. Because if we're talking about 3 yellow characters that free to play anyways are getting, their stats might not stack up well enough compared to some of the existing characters we have at like 7 yellow, right?
True.
Are they that good at the 3 yellow stage that they'll overcome everything that we currently have to replace them? And Web Warriors, they kind of did anyways. We had this question with Web Warriors, and I think that they were better than Symbiotes for sure. Yeah. So the answer is probably yes, that we'll still use them in Doom Raid 3. But whenever a new character comes out, I'm always concerned about, how many shards are we getting for these events, for these characters? Are we getting a 3-star? Are we getting a 4-star? Are we getting a 2-star sometimes,
Well, Well, it's all what the AI recognizes, right? And will the AI think these guys are strong enough, even with those low gold stars, to give us our full sim with everything, all our energy and our health topped off? Or does the AI think, oh, yeah, these guys need the stars on them, they can't sim it? As far as red stars, I think there's value for each of these characters. You know, the traditional red star character in the past was always the damage dealer. Dealthlok looks like he's going to be the damage dealer on this team. Second to that was the protector. Hulkbuster looks like the protector and all that crazy barrier that he's throwing around. And then you got the healer on this team. You know, the more max health she has, the more healing she's doing whenever a Bionic Avenger gains ability energy. So are you leaning more towards the healer, the damage dealer, or the protector for this team, as far as who you're targeting with some of your higher red stars, like a 7 red elite or 6 red elite? Who would be your primary one?
I mean, I don't spend money, so my goals are normally to get a 4 or 5 reds. So I actually don't pull 6s or 7s anymore, unless it's for, I'm saving mine for a character that I personally really want and that I might spend on.
None of these are worthy of a 6 or 7 for you.
No, not for me, because you have to ask yourself, are you going to get those stars? So if you're going to spend heavily, then sure, pull a 6. But if you're not, if you're free to play, you're very unlikely to get anything more than a 4. Unless it's a campaign event character. So you got to keep that in mind. The farmability, it takes months. Exactly. It takes so long to farm them, right? Yeah. So as long as you get a 4, I think you should be fine. If you get a 5 and you want to spend some money or cores, because some people do spend the 675 cores, I do it for the core sometimes, then, go for that. So I think I'll be unlocking early. I think one of these might be the month-long event, and whoever that is, I will use my cores to unlock them early. Because I don't want to wait.
Okay, nice. Oh, so the character like a Jane Foster or a Dazzler or a Spider-Woman, that's what you're gonna unlock early.
I didn't do it for Spider-Woman and Dazzler, but I did do it for Mighty Thor, and then I got the 4-star, so nice. I have like almost 6-star Mighty Thor as a result now. Yeah.
All right. Well, these guys look like they're gonna be dominating the new tech section, and the older character that was sort of needed for the tech section got Farmable yesterday. So does this mean that Star-Lord T'Challa is now is totally out of the meta, not that they made him farmable, or does he still have value for some players?
Not everyone really used him in Doomray Tech. I mean, like, some people in my alliance did, some people didn't. I don't think you had to have him, but he's fun. I used him in Dark Dimension 5. I like him as a character. I just wish I had more resources to, like, side projects. Like I would have done the Ravagers just for fun, and I think they were a fun rework, and I think they're a fairly good rework actually, but I just didn't have the resources to spend on it, and so that's disappointing. So I don't know how much value people are going to get out of T'Challa like in a couple of months time. If you haven't built up already, then it gives you that ability to get the star levels on him, which is if you still use him, then you'll still use him and he'll be stronger, I guess.
You know where I had a lot of value for Star-Lord T'Challa? In the Gambit raids, he was like my
MVP. I know, one of the best. Him and Yondu. I hear Yondu
with Yondu, and probably even better than Silver Surfer.
Star-Lord
was definitely MVP. Now they did say that they're making more characters farmable. Star-Lord T'Challa was on that list. Do you think they're doing a good job of keeping their word since that early May blog post that they're going to make more characters farmable? They're knocking characters off the list, and T'Challa is one of them. Are they keeping their word with the farmability?
Well, let me ask you, what does keeping their word mean? Is that means 2 characters a month? Does that mean more than 2 characters a month? Because all they're really doing is 2 a month at this stage.
As long as they're putting more out than they're putting in to the unfarmable category, I think they're keeping their word. Yeah,
they're not doing that.
So what do you think? What do you think they need to do to keep their word? Is it the simple explanation like me, or just more out than in, or is it something more complicated?
Well, we're so far behind now because I keep a running tally on this. I have every 2 weeks I do a video on this, and we're in the hole about 12 characters farmable. So that we need 12 more characters to be farmable now to be at a good spot. Which to me, a good spot is like 4 months behind, like 4 months to farmable. That's a reasonable thing, I think. Anything like 6 to 8 months or more, that's really unreasonable. And so they would have to bulk, and I use a Costco reference here. Like, we need to make characters bulk farmable now in order to clean up the mess that we're in. And I don't know how we get there, because 2 a month is not enough. 3 a month would take a very long time. So we would need like as much as I hate to say it, like 6 or 7 people shoved into the Cosmic Crucible store, and some other methods on top of that to start cleaning up this mess. That's the only way, I think.
If they did 3 a month, that would just be catching up to their commitment from those like 5 or 6 months that they did 1 character release per month.
Well, they're still releasing 3 a month. They're releasing 3 a month, so even 3 farmable a month is just keeping even. It's not getting better.
I know in July they've only released 1 character. In July they've only released, but in June they released 3. So. Yeah, we've only had 1 in July.
I don't know my spread. I have a spreadsheet for this.
Jane Foster was technically in June. But anyway. Yeah,
I sorry, you're right. Yeah, in June there was kind of 3.
It was 3.
But
I know that from my Amazon sponsorship.
It kind of needs to be 4. Like it needs to be 4 at this pace that we're currently at, and so there's still a big problem, and I don't know how long it's going to take for them to clean it up, but if it keeps getting worse, it's not fixing the problem. And I want to say really quick before we move on, that if they don't make the Scourge characters farmable before the second pass of the event, I'm going to be very unhappy. So if we don't get Scarlet Spider before the second edition of Pestilence, I'm going to be very unhappy.
It looks like she's coming it looks like it's coming next patch, and I don't see any plans for Scarlet Spider, so I want to see Boilon about this, because I think that's what's going to happen.
One more. I'm going to boil over in 2 weeks when Emma Frost hits her 2nd year anniversary.
Oh my goodness, that's been 2 years already.
It's going to be 2 years in like 2.5 weeks.
That seasonal orb's been there for 2 years.
That's exactly, and I'm going to have a rage video probably if she hasn't been moved.
Right. If you're not already doing the boiling point on a weekly basis, you should, because there's enough content for that to happen. All right, we have a quick Robo Blitz coming. We also have Chaos Theory coming. And the question I used to always have fun asking, are you spending your silver or gold promo credits, or are you going to hoard them?
I actually just 5-read Iron Man and Vision. Or sorry, Iron Man. I had Vision already. So I did it to Iron Man. Nice. And I normally just save it at this point for reworks because, like I said earlier on, the likelihood of getting a new character free to play to 5 yellow, is low, and it takes so long for them to become farmable that I'm just going to get my silvers back by that point anyways. So
that's an interesting point.
The best use of your credits these days for free to play players is rework characters, because you're probably going to have them at 5 to 7 yellow, right? Because they've been around for a while.
Now, did you do that upgrade to Iron Man before or after the announcement of Apocalypse and the Scourge characters?
As soon as I heard the Bionic Avengers announcement, so before, I guess.
That makes sense.
I had a lot though. I had like 600, 700 silver, so I was like, okay, whatever.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Any other characters that you're thinking of taking up, or are you just gonna keep hoarding them for reworks? She-Hulk,
I mean,
normal Hulk?
there's characters I would, maybe She-Hulk and regular. No, I don't know what I have for regular Hulk. She-Hulk, I think I only have a 4. So maybe if the rework is really good, I'd put a 5 in her. I think to go 6 and higher, they have to be really good on their team for me to justify that. I think, like Squirrel Girl is someone I would definitely recommend a 6 on. Yeah. For example, for Young Avengers.
I bought my 6 on Squirrel Girl, and it's been worth it.
They have to be like the top 1 or 2 characters of their team to like make me think of 6. But otherwise, I would do a 5.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna save mine this month because all the characters I want, I don't have the gold stars on them. So
yeah, farmability, man.
I'm just holding. I'm holding right now. All right, that is it for Marvel Strike Force. But there are 2 more things that I want to discuss. Unfortunately, we don't have any new rumors or new data mines, though. I want to discuss the Thor: Love and Thunder. Did you see this movie?
I did see the movie.
All right, so if you at home have not seen this movie, we're going to discuss this movie right now. So spoiler warning right now, you have been warned. I'm going to start talking about Love and Thunder in 3, 2, 1. How did you like the movie overall? I know some people are liking it, some people aren't liking it as much. How do you think this compares to other Phase 4 projects?
I was personally a bit mixed. I didn't dislike it, but I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites. So somewhere in the middle for me.
Middle of Phase 4 or middle of all MCU movies?
Kind of a bit of both. Okay. I preferred Thor Ragnarok. I thought it was a bit better.
Okay. I would agree with you. I think Ragnarok was the best Thor movie, but I think this is the second best Thor movie. And that's not saying too much because I didn't like Thor 1 and 2. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. To be honest, I'm not sure I remember Thor 2 that much. That was Dark World.
Yeah, you're not.
I don't remember much.
Malekith was a cool villain, but he didn't do much in that movie.
I don't remember yeah, I remember the villain, but I don't remember like certain instances in the movie. Like if you ask me like this part of the movie, like I don't remember that.
Yeah, there's some MCU movies we watch a lot. Thor 2 is not one of them.
Maybe I need to go back and see it, or not. But
or not. I think if you're on Love and Thunder, you're got to the most one. Was there a particular performance that stood out to you? A lot of people like Christian Bale. Chris Hemsworth is always pretty cool. Natalie Portman returning. Was there something that stood out for you, or?
Christian Bale was a really good actor. I just love Korg. I think Korg is like the best part. The director, who plays Korg. I think that has the comedic value of the movie there, probably in just Korg alone. But yeah, I just love the way that he portrays him and just like performs with him. Yeah, so it was nice to see that. And same with Thor Ragnarok. That's what I liked about Thor Ragnarok too. Is kind of like that.
Well, it says something, right?
When he was in it.
The two Thor movies that have Korg are the ones that fans enjoy. The two movies without Korg, people aren't as hot on. So he definitely brings something to the Thor universe there. So
we need Korg in Marvel Strike Force.
We do. That's not even a joke. We do need him in the game.
Korg and Meek.
More than some of these other characters we're getting, but do you think we're gonna see more Love and Thunder, Gor's daughter, and Thor in future movies? Yeah,
I mean, I think if from the end scene, we'll probably get to that. The end scene, end of credits scene. I think that is it gonna maybe lead into Guardians or maybe not? I don't know. Like, is there gonna be a cameo of Thor in Guardians 3 or whatever?
Possibly.
What number we're at now?
I mean, Chris Hemsworth said he doesn't want to retire until the fans don't want to see him, so he could be playing Thor for many, many years. So.
He's going to be the Hugh Jackman of Wolverine, or of Thor, rather.
He could be playing Thor until Thor is as old as Odin. All right, so,
sorry.
Oh, no. Continue. I have a question about the last scene.
I might not be able to answer that because I actually fell asleep towards the end of the movie. And I have to admit that, like, that's why I'm kind of in the middle of the road. Maybe I was just really tired that day, but I think towards the end, in the last maybe 20 minutes, I think I briefly just fell asleep during I think one of the final fight scenes there, and in the hallway I believe with some statues and stuff. Yeah. And I woke up and I was like, "What's going on?"
The best part of the movie. The best part of the movie.
And then I remember waking up towards like when they were Gore was bringing Thor back to life, and in that kind of scene there, like I remember that, and I was like, "Oh, what just happened? I missed something, didn't I?"
All right. So, did you see the end credit scene? Because that's actually what I was going to talk about.
Yeah, I did.
All right. Hercules in the MCU. Is that exciting for you, or is that just another Adam Warlock?
It might have been in the movie.
Like, we're going to see him in a few years. That's cool, but nothing for a few years.
I thought he was going to be actually in the movie itself, but we didn't. We only saw Zeus or Russell Crowe as Zeus. I thought that Hercules might have been in it.
Looks different than Maximus Meritus Decimus, right?
No, that was a funny part too. I actually liked that scene in which I thought was going to be Olympus. I thought that where they were going to go was going to be Olympus. I didn't know it was going to be this God City or whatever it was. I guess
it had a different name, but it's pretty much Olympus. It's Olympus.
It looked like it
because I know that whatever they want. We know what you're doing, MCU.
So sorry.
No, I just wondering, Thor versus Zeus. Is that something you're looking forward to?
Well, I mean, this is very Hercules is actually a very iconic character in the Marvel universe, and not only was he an Avenger, but he's also a Guardians now too. He's a Guardians of the Galaxy in the comics right now, so he is a very important character. And I think it sounds like they're leading up to some sort of conflict between the two, but then eventually, I expect that because he is a hero character, so at some point, he's probably going to cross over and he's going to be a good guy.
Yeah, I mean, Adam Warlock is supposed to be the bad guy of Guardians 4, but he's traditionally a hero as well. So how are they going to work that? I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah. But yeah, I liked it. For me, as far as Phase 4 movies, right under Spider-Man. This was a fun one for me, and above Multiverse of Madness for me.
Okay, I mean, Spider-Man's at the top. I think it's at the top for a lot of people.
I don't think most people would disagree with that.
Multiverse is probably under Spider-Man for me, and then I'd probably say Thor. So it wasn't bad. I put it like I liked it like I like Shang-Chi actually. So for me it's like Thor and Shang-Chi are kind of like in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. All right, let's talk about Miss Marvel. So again, another spoiler warning if you're not caught up on Miss Marvel, which ended last week. Spoiler warning now. So we're gonna talk about that in 3, 2, 1. How did you like the series overall of Miss Marvel?
I really liked it. I really like Miss Marvel as a character, so I think maybe I, felt it more. She was a character that, I started connecting with more when I was a young adult.
Okay.
I think when she first came out as a character. So for me, like both Young Avengers, which who knows, maybe they'll get an MCU debut one day, and Miss Marvel, they're kind of characters that I kind of recognize more with, and I appreciate the sort of the inclusion of Miss Marvel because of the demographic, things here and how they portray the show, and I think it was really good.
Yeah, I don't think I was in that target demographic, but this was not a character that I was really familiar with. This is a character that I saw in video games like Marvel Strike Force, like Marvel Future Fight. Didn't really see her too much in the comics or cartoons before, so this was my first introduction to her. And for me, it started off a little slow because, like I said, I wasn't really familiar with the character. And a lot of the other MCU projects start off right with action, whereas Miss Marvel's trying to kind of discovering her powers. It's more of a coming of age story rather than just boom, superhero type movie.
Yeah, I mean, I think the target audience probably is more for like a younger audience in this particular show.
I think or fans of Miss Marvel, the previous fans of Miss Marvel. So
kind of like Hawkeye was, I think, aimed towards a younger audience as well. I think with Kate Bishop, and that's why they're adding these sort of younger characters to the shows to get that sort of younger demographic into the MCU.
The Avengers. They want a second Avengers
one, maybe a little bit more proper than what we have in Marvel Strike Force. But I the one thing that going into the show was that they were changing her powers. The way that the bracelet, and that's different than her being an Inhuman and with the Terrigen Mist, which they've never done in the MCU.
Sort of did the Terrigen Mist in this. I mean, it wasn't called Terrigen Mist. It wasn't explained the same way, but it kind of.
They did it in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. until they rewrote that. Until they wrote that out.
It's kind of canon, right? There's some parts that are canon and some parts aren't. I think. Or is that just a Daredevil stuff? I thought they included some of the
I don't believe it's in MCU canon right now because, which I'm sure you watched the last episode, there was quite a Easter egg there about the root of Miss Marvel's power. So
yes,
a huge one. Actually, it's very huge, I think.
She's a mutant.
Yeah, they had the riff there. Did you watch the 90s X-Men?
Mutants in the MCU. I mean, we don't know about X-Men and stuff, but we have Kamala.
They had the guitar riff of the X-Men 90s theme in there. So
yeah, I didn't notice that in the first place. I saw that described in some of the follow-up videos, but in the first watching of that, I did not notice that. The last question, I think it's the most important one. What is Captain Marvel doing there? Did she just transport there? Did Kamala use some power on her bracelet? And what do you expect to happen with this as the follow-up to this in the Marvels movie coming out next year?
I think that she's Kamala. I think that's Kamala at the end of the show. I don't think that's actually Captain Marvel, Brie Larson, Captain Marvel.
I think it was a teleport. I think that
was it a teleport? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think some people were thinking that it was a transforming, but if you look, she looks around the room like, what is this? Oh, this is a fan. So if you look at Brie Larson's face,
okay. So, obviously, it's leading up into the movie. I don't know when the movie is slated for.
There's been so many release dates of this. I don't know what is. Sometime next year is what I'm thinking.
I am interested to see where they take that because I know there's going to be other characters in that movie, like Monica Rambeau from WandaVision.
The three of them should be fun.
It should be interesting. I actually, as far as the series goes, I liked it. I actually liked it more than Moon Knight. I wasn't a huge fan of Moon Knight, but that's because I wasn't a huge fan of the character going into it, probably. And there was a lot of action in there, but
preconceived notions of all these characters.
These shows. Well, if I know the character more, or if I can connect with the character, then I'm gonna probably like the show a bit better. Or I might be more critical of it because I might be like, well, they did it bad, or it depends on how much of a fan I am.
That makes sense.
Moon Knight, I was kind of, you know, I didn't care too much, so it was what it was. It wasn't a bad show. I liked Oscar Isaac; he's a great actor. But yeah, I do like what they did with this. I want them to do a Young Avengers. So how is this going to all lead up into some sort of crossover between these different characters that are in Phase 4 right now?
Who do we have right now? Is we don't have Squirrel Girl, but we have America Chavez. We have Stature. We have Miss Marvel. I'm missing a bunch. Kate Bishop. Who else? We're missing.
Patriot. We have in Falcon Winter Soldier. There was the grandson there, and he's actually the one who takes up his grandfather's super soldier serum.
Maya Lopez. We have Maya Lopez as well.
Oh God, she's not a real Young Avengers. That pisses me off so much. She's not even young. She's like in her 20s or something, right? You know, like. She's older.
That's young to me.
Well, it's not what the Young Avengers are meant to be like. They're starting as teenagers, basically.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I think they're doing. I think they're going that direction, but we'll see when. We'll see when, and if all the actors are actually still young when they actually make that movie.
That's true, but I mean, is it going to be a movie crossover? Is it going to be a show that brings them all together, or what their plans are? I guess
probably Disney Plus show. But
so I'm wondering, Well, but aimed towards younger audiences than a show, I think is probably likely.
That makes more sense. All right. That's all I got as far as Marvel Strike Force and all the MCU movies and everything. Anything else you want to discuss before we get out of here, brother?
Not much. You know, my channel's still kicking. I'm still doing videos, and you know, if you want to know things about some of the latest events and my thoughts about the change of Apocalypse and all the stuff going forward, you know, then take a look at the Boilon channel.
Nice. And if the data mines are correct and we actually get this event on Saturday, all the spreadsheets will be Saturday or Sunday?
Morning, probably, because I mean, we'll have to take a look at it after the blog.
So if you want to know how much you got to grind, guys, make sure you subscribe to his channel. Check him out on Twitch. All the links will be down below. If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button. Leave it a great review on whatever platform you're listening to. If you're listening to the podcast version of this, hit that subscribe, thumbs up, all that stuff. And I'll see you guys next time. Check out the link for Amazon coins and check me out on Twitter. Before you go, Boilon, give me that Hulk fist bump. Yes.
Here we go.
Boilon on Valleyflyin out. Have a great rest of your day, Valley Club.
See you guys.